Hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. I am your host, DBJ, and welcome to Devabhumi. We are going to take a wonderful trip in our fantasy, mythological, historical, cultural overview of various tabletop role-playing games. This time in Mythic, India, and we're taking a look at a product or products from Devabhumi, Devabhume. But of course, since we are taking this page-thru review and talk about this game, please gather your snacks, take your bio breaks, and just have a little period of time to do that for yourself. Good morning, everyone, and let's get through the intro and come on back and have our minds open as we engage in ancient mythic India. So this is the PDF for Devabhumi, of course, the 5th edition tabletop version of Mythic India. There's a clear reason why over the last 10, 12 years that people have been using the 2014 rules plus because it is a familiar rule set. It is a D20 system that is timeless. It's easily hackable, and right now it doesn't belong to Wizards of the Coast. So you'll notice that many of the releases here, and especially the fact that it's been dropped in Creative Commons, allows individuals from and it's released around the world to allow those individuals that are really want to embrace their culture and their mythology and their history and their fantastical adventures in this. So this is the player's guide cover. I think it's excellent artwork. And it is the player's guide. It's about 48 pages and summarizes what is available to the to the players for their characters and their knowledge. But we will be taking a look at instead the campaign setting. The campaign setting is 134 pages on the PDF, and it is $30 for both of them. There is a 5th edition version of this and Pathfinder 2 version if you head over to the link that leads you to the itch.io page. So here we have the credits. The other day we did ancient Egypt, and I was saying that it was a little bit of a cheat because I wasn't really aware if anyone from that region or they claim to have some ethnicity or attachment to that came from there. Not that it's necessary, because all you need to do is go to school, but I feel like I'd like to celebrate with the people who are celebrating themselves. But this game definitely has that. Silver Compass Maps. There's the 5.1 SRD. Kanjan Patel was the writer and project manager. Heroes are not born, they are made. There you become one. In the preface, it does say, this book is not meant to portray or represent Indian culture. It blends certain parts of Indian culture with fantastical elements to create a unique world full of magic and adventure. Do not take the content of this setting as a reflection of Indian culture or the Hindu religion. Recommendations for reading about ancient India are listed in the selected bibliography at the end of the book. Yeah, it's a shame you even have to apologize for that because no one makes those allusions to like fantastical medieval quasi para elemental Europe or something. But yeah, don't take this as this isn't historical text at all. This is extremely fantastical, and I think it makes it makes it all the better. I think it makes it all the better as we get into this like wuxia, like I don't know, I don't want to say kung fu, that's wrong because it's a different culture, but it's very much like high fantasy. It's great. So here we have all the information for those of us like myself who have very little knowledge about India. It gives you lots and lots of information up front about it, all the history, the knowledge of foods and cultures and all that kind of stuff, and blends it with the fantastical part of it. So we have the terms and definitions. We have the 4 ages. There's a definite cyclical methodology of culture. So it's not like life and death and then that ends. Instead, there is a cyclical nature, which makes undead and those who cheat death especially abhorrent to the people here. And so the players, as you are playing through the different ages, you're engaging in an age in a world in which it's basically coming into its highest conflict, and possibly, if you're not heroes enough, into its downfall. And this may have happened before. As a matter of fact, it basically states that this cycle has happened before. I'm going to say that I am not going to bother pronouncing most of the language and the words in here. Not going to do it. I'd hurt your feelings and embarrass myself. So, no. But it will give you information as to notable individuals in terms of the cyclical nature of the world. Maybe there might be adventures where the players resurrect, find, uncover ancient heroes that are still around through the ages and things like that. So while there may be powerful entities because the gods walk amongst the people, and so it may feel like, oh man, well, why does anyone need us if the gods literally walk amongst the people? But the mission might be to uncover who and where some of these powerful entities are to get them to solve a problem. And so that may be part of the thing. Let me open up the chat here. There we go, and put this here. Well, hello again. Yeah, his nameless says, I agree, it should not need to be said, but I like that they included some suggested reading. Exactly. And I mean, I like the fact that we in the geekosphere appreciate these kind of things, but I don't know if buying a tabletop role-playing game book is the smartest thing to do to get like the real deep dive into somebody else's culture. I don't know if that's a good thing. Yeah. Drew says India has such a rich and fascinating culture, and like all of Africa, it rarely finds its way into our hobby. And unfortunately, like this individual's kind of saying has said in the preface, it's like it's not even one culture, it's like a lot of different things. And to have one book cover probably hundreds, if not thousands of different specificities in terms of culture and where people live and what they do is a little bit daunting. It's unreasonable. So to get an overview is cool. So here, like I said, it's 134 pages. But what I like about this is like the thumbnail, this is not Dungeons and Dragons. Meaning like what I mean is this isn't this is medieval India, not medieval England, I guess, or whatever, pseudo Tolkien-esque kind of thing. So you're going to get it talks about here like currency, reincarnation, which I think is a great storytelling element because bad guys and good guys can come back. You may Players may meet, not understand why they have a connection with someone, but you find out that you are in this perpetual reincarnation link with these individuals, so you can tell stories about that. It's really cool. Talks about currency. Currency is washed over real quick. It's like, yeah, copper, silver, gold, maybe some stamped faces of important people. Get past it. Okay, fine. Because there's some other things in here, like the food and vegetarianism. I mean, wow. Pretty cool to have that in here. Talks about eating habits, festivals. For example, vegetarianism. Although certain groups of people choose to avoid meat altogether, the majority of the population consumes some form of meat or seafood. The people in the north and east consume goat, sheep, and waterfowl. The people in the south rely on fish, prawn, crabs, and other seafood. However, it is a taboo entirely to eat any form of cattle, as they are considered sacred by the people of Devabhumi. Some people also choose to abstain from garlic and onion, which are believed to ignite the passions and place the eater in a mode of spiritual ignorance. If one wishes to be ritually pure for the puja, Puja, then they must abstain from eating meat, garlic, or onions for 3 days prior to the puja. And that's just different. And then it goes into numbers of food items, festival, and where's the okay? Here we go. Recreation, games, things of that nature, sports. Left hand. The right hand is considered to be clean and pure. Therefore, it is customary to eat, offer sacrifices, and wash your face with your right hand. A character who is left-handed may get strange looks from others when they use their left hand in place of their right hand. Just different. Placement of feet, shaved heads, languages. Really cool, really cool. We get into nations and tribes. I will try to put as much of this map up. This is the fictionalized map, and it is mentioned in one portion towards the end of this book that these maps are basically the Himalayas, fictionalized version of the Himalayas, and then here we have all of the locations and how that this isn't just one biome, basically. And here's your map. Indraputra. I'm gonna butcher all this, but again, is this literal India? If you squint, I suppose, but far more fantastical. Far more fantastical. Here are the nations and tribes of this fictionalized region. I got a 2-page spread this because we'll never get through it, because there's a lot of stuff and a lot of details, and it, like I said, the language is foreign to my tongue, so I always have to like pause a little bit and kind of say it in my head about 2 or 3 times before I say it out loud. But anyway, this is the part that goes into the different regions, what's there, the cities that are there, things like that. Like, and then there's these breakout boxes which are kind of cool, like a note on tamed elephants. Capturing and taming elephants is a practice dating all the way back to the Satya Yuga. Tamed elephants in Devabhumi are a common sight, as they are used to carry heavy loads for construction, transporting people of importance, and fighting in large battles. Now, you know, your cultural significance, your current day cultural significance of using animals like that from in the past, I would consider to be, for me, I would consider them to be used like horses and like cherished pets. Although I'm sure, there are some people that just look at them as meat shields and meat and treat them pretty badly, which kind of like the mantra from movies where save the cat, kick the dog. You want to know a bad guy? Have them mistreat an elephant, and you want to beat their ass, right? So that might be a very easy shorthand. Anyway, this again, this goes into many of the cities, who the city was ruled by or is ruled by. There are cities ruled by mythological beings that are of divine nature. This is a high fantasy, over the top, melodramatic setting. So, people with purple skin and 5 arms and things like that exist in this world. We'll get to see them. So, all of this gives you an idea of how the cities are run, whether they are patriarchal, matriarchal. They have fallen by the wayside because of the age in which they're in. We're getting the Southern Devabhumi, Avanti Confederation. I can't go this with you, but needless to say, if you want a setting, you want to pick this up. The PDF is $30 as we speak, so it may be a little expensive. There is a player's guide that you can hand off to the players, but if you want a new place to go to that's fully developed, come here. There's little bits and pieces. The writer will say, in history or in real world mythology or real India, this was a thing. This is what was changed, which I appreciate as well. Yes, you can play a sentient simian. Different kingdoms, falcon hunting. Come on, let's get to cities. Here we have a map of a major city, Hastinapur, or Hastinapur. Don't know. Let's get this nice and big here. So, again, they used a map maker. Why not? I appreciate it. There's map making software out there that's free as long as you give the proper attribution. That's pretty good. Maybe not as close to this detail, but it's pretty good. And this is one example of a major city. The map here, and then it goes into its locations. Of course, we've seen this before in a tabletop role playing. Wood smoke billows overhead as children run through narrow streets. Men gather in street corners to play games of chance and strategy, chewing on betel nut leaves. Women talk under the shade of colored awnings, and cows wander unhindered through the dense crowds. An occasional chariot may be seen on the street, drawn by powerful horses and drawing admiration from the crowd. Bands of pilgrims clad in saffron robes make their way to the sacred Devabhumi River to immerse their bodies and wipe clean their misdeeds. Far in the distance, a towering palace made of gold and marble can be seen jutting through the walls. Welcome to the ancient Indian city of Hastinapur, the city over which the legendary Mahabharata war was fought. It is a place where the gods rode through the streets, where millions of inhabitants once lived, and where travelers and merchants from all over Devabhumi come to visit. Now the city is a skeleton of what it once was. The population numbers to a few 100,000, and the last time a god was seen riding through the streets was over 1,000 years ago. And definitely, of course, lots of detail about it. Major city, get to use that for your fantastical metropolis. And then we get into some smaller cities and villages. Yeah, quest idea, the right spice. The Madir markets feature a variety of spices from different parts of the subcontinent. Unfortunately, some merchants have resorted to adulterating spices or selling imitations of it in order to make a profit. Can the players find the right spice needed for a recipe, or will it fall flat? And so sometimes there is a little bit of a whimsy to this, like not that life isn't dangerous or that some kind of like Fae inspired thing, but sometimes there's an embrace humor is embraced in this, and so having an adventure where the players need to find the correct spice, or someone plays a joke on a noble, and then the noble's all pissed off and whatnot, is the thing. Here we have the religion. There are like 30 gods, and their confrontation with each other exists here, and it gives you the alignment. Yes, this still uses the traditional alignment, but mainly on the side of the dungeon master, the game master. Some of these gods are alive. Some need to be are in their resurrection phase. Some of them have pretty complicated relationships with each other. Like many gods, some of them are like related to each other, siblings, parents. They might be in other despicable modern day relationships as well. Some born from they were born from the blood of somebody else, or things like that. So, and then we get into some of the religions attached to them. Talks about gods that walk the land, Vishnu and Shiva. Here we have ourselves the cults and factions. Cults here are not like the cults you would think of with dark robes sacrificing. There are good cults. Essentially, they are tight-knit groups of people that may be needed for a particular reason. And sometimes those cults can be things for like marriages, births, ceremonies, certain types of knowledge and whatnot. Think of cults instead like a guild, but they can be religiously based, or spiritually based. And there's many of them that the characters may believe. Thuggies, bandits. Here we have, I'm going to get to your comments in just a minute. Here we have the karma matrix. And so, we always hear about karma and dharma and what goes around comes around and whatnot. And so there is an optional rule to use karma in the game. And it can go from -15 to +15. And the game master is suggested to warn the players if they are about to do something that will increase or decrease their karmic value, and to have the world reflect where their karmic balance is at. So if you are in the negative, that means you're a pretty horrible person and done some pretty damning things. So little things might happen to you. You might get pickpocketed. Mud will splash on you. That very important locket that you've been carrying might get lost and you can't find it. It's like, and then eventually people start treating you badly, and animals will a bird will come by and crap on your shoulder, and then you try to get back up on the elephant wants to toss you off, things like that. And then on the other side, with good karma, positive numbers, you'll find a few copper pieces in the mud and grab it up to pay for something. You will someone will give you a great deal on like a bolt of silk that you've been looking for. It's little things like that. And then of course, as you get higher into your karmic nature, you become more it encourages doing good deeds without thinking of having a payment for it. And here you talk about rewards and consequences of having your having a karmic value. And then we get into old school races, still called races, but let's get into your comments. When I heathen, me too. I'm digging it too. Oh, I love goat meat. I hate picking the bones out though. Yeah. More Caribbean, but like oxtail is a big thing. It's got a lot of bones in it. Oh, my family knew of Indians who ran a restaurant. One of them shaved his head to mourn his mother. And it talks about shaving heads. Yeah. I love when fantasy and mythology elements are set in alt histories or in a world similar to our own. Me too. That, like I told you, I'm on a mission. Hopefully I'll find some that are like, or ones will pop up that are like in conflict with each other, which would actually be kind of cool too. Oh, Hello Future Me. I love that channel. Drew says, Hello Future Me had a few videos ago, an interesting video. It was about monsters, and one of the cases he talked about was about an elephant. Worth the watch. Okay. We'll get into the monsters too. Yeah. Drew says, since you mentioned a noble, how does the game handle the caste system? I can see this causing issues. Yeah. It does have a caste system. It mentions the players are to default to the players being outside that system unless they choose to have a background related to it. But yes, you are correct. There is a caste system that goes back to your own ancestors, so that you are born into, like untouchable and things like that. And yeah, it mentions it. It does suggest that for people who aren't familiar with this, to basically put your characters outside of that system, and then have adventures where maybe they might want to hide or portray themselves or free people from that system. But yeah, that is a thing, and I love it. Hello Future Me video had the elephant more of a case of getting demonized by people and not being intrinsically evil, or the nonsense we often see today with monsters in our hobby. Yeah, because there's a monster version of the elephant, and we'll get to it. It's like 3 heads and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, elephants are quite intelligent. They sure do. That's why they remember where they seem to go back to a central location to pass away and die. They have a huge, they literally do have long memories and such. They are not inherently evil. I saw an elephant play hide and seek with a bird at our zoo here, and hiding behind a tree. It was great. I wish I caught a video of it. So silly. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Try to catch up. All right, so these are the races of Devabhumi. Remember, this is 5th edition, so they were fitting it into trying to fit it into the current rules at the time. There is an overlap of genetics and culture here, but anyway, you'll see. So here we have the half Apsara and the half Asura. That the half Apsara are like a divine fae-like people. Unfortunately, they are, this is to the left, the young lady here to the left, and unfortunately they have a short lifespan. So their lifespan, let me see if, here we go. Age, bearing the curse of your ancestors, half Asparas suffer from a short lifespan. Although you mature at around the same age as humans, your adulthood is short, and you show signs of aging in your mid-20s. On average, half Apsaras live to their 50s. So they're like on a, when they get started, they just keep moving. It's like no time to rest, gotta get stuff done. Because and again, the melodrama is that they live hard and live fast and live passionately. The half Asura, if you want to make an equivalent, are like tiefling. They have the blood of the underworld, and it talks about alignments. Like, for example, the half Aspara to the left can vary in their alignment. Over here to the half Asura, you are drawn to evil alignments. However, you still retain the freedom to choose your alignment. Most half Asuras can only resist their nature for so long, eventually succumbing to evil. And so because of their evil nature, every once in a while it'll poke through. And yes, the skin of their colors like a dark blue, midnight purples, things like that. have some powers there. Um, the Garuda and the Vanar. Anyway, the Garuda flying people, they have a flight speed of 40, as long as they're not wearing any medium or heavy armor. This was a big deal back in the day. Like, flight at first level, you'll just beat everything. Except in this world, it's very high magic, so you ain't the only one flying around. And then there's the intelligent monkey simians and whatnot. Vanars are intelligent monkey-like creatures that are known for their cunning and loyalty. They form colonies in the jungle and typically keep to themselves. Very intelligent, somewhat playful, leaping around. They've got a climbing speed. You can play a Naga, and you have the ability to shape shift from human into various parts of your body, shifting into a serpent. Some of your venomous abilities cannot be done unless you are in your entire shape, and then you could be very creative in terms of using your shape shifting. And it's all serpentine, like a cobra or a python. The Yakshi, they are plant-like people, including have the ability to dig deep. When you're short rest, you can cause your roots to dig into the soil, drawing sustenance from the earth. There's the bear people, the Jambavan, or bear people. They are very intelligent, patient, and can beat ass. And then we have our backgrounds, and this goes back to the ideals, flaws, bonds, flaws, and personality. That's it. And it gives you the ancient Indian name for these, like the Ayurved are physicians. Over here, guru as a background, etc., etc. There's many backgrounds as examples, and also to give you an idea for NPCs as well. So I would, if I was, game master running this, I'd steal some for PCs. Wrestlers, this giant heavy mace-like object is used in exercise, and I have one of these. I think it's 15 kilograms and it feels like 50 when you're holding it at the very end. But you can look up videos of individuals using these barbells with a weight only on one end. And to this day, there are still places out in the wilds of India where there are these strongmen that are using that equipment and exercising and things like that. You can be a yogi. It's kind of cool. Of course, we have feats. Some of the artwork is kind of cool. I'm sure some of it's public domain. I don't care about that at all. Chariots and riding in chariots and riding them into battle is a thing, carrying capacity for them. And then some of the animals that can pull them, like elephants and whatnot. They give stats to the vehicle, like chariot is a large vehicle unaligned, so that if you want to use them in your game, they're just like basically stats that you can run for. Use like an animal, or any other creature, and put them in the initiative order and that kind of thing. Here's some of the other animals and mythological animals as well that are used for labor and security and things like that. Clothing and mundane items. So there's a list of things that we might not be familiar with, especially clothing items like a sari, and from head ornaments down to your feet, and what people wear and why. And then over the list over to the right are some mundane items, everything from like musical items and spices and paste and things like that. Jewelry, beads, and what they mean. Weapons and armor, of course, unique weapons in India. One of the one weapon that I think I've seen plenty of times pulled out but used for thing is the Qatar. It's like a push dagger. It's a it doesn't fit between the knuckles. It's not a tiny dagger. It's actually quite big, large, and you imagine a dagger where its widest point, it fits across 4 of your knuckles, and you would punch with it, and the blade is about as long as your forearm. It's kind of a cool looking weapon, and it talks about other things like chakram, and that kind of stuff. Other kinds of daggers. There's like a sword that's like flimsy. It's like a whip more than a straight sword. It's more a metal whip. Goes into armor, magic items, and some different, I would say, reskinned magic items as well. It's gotta have a bow. It's difficult to see this in the imagery, but there is a silver arrow made of light, and then there actually is this bow is actually strung, and it looks like silver light or something like that. Another sword. Gataka. This thing, yeah, this is used in a modern day context to get strong, and basically you hold it at the very end, and you don't want a heavy one if let's say you want to exercise. You don't want a very heavy one because the weight multiplies the further you hold it at the end, and then what you do is you swing it, pull it behind your back, and pull it over your shoulder or over your head, and so it gives a full range of motion. Astras are like, how do I say this? Astras are a divine boon that you can enchant a weapon that you hold, given to you by like the gods or like powerful beings, to turn it into basically the nuclear option for your weapon. And this encompasses a lot of the Hindu mythology of many of their heroes that pull one arrow that slays a beast, or the person pulls a club that shatters, a castle wall, or I don't know, your blade slices through stone and wood and metal all in one clean swoop, and that's what this is. Players can be gifted with like a divine weapon, but the weapon isn't physical, it's inside of you. And then when the player is down and out, they can like do the Voltron, and I pull a sword and then strike down evil. For example, here's an example of an Astra, the Brahmastra. This is possessed by Brahma, and the knowledge of the mantra is only given out by Brahma. It has the capacity of wiping out entire armies, settlements, and cities at once. This Astra can also counter other Astras. Casting time 1 action, range 1 mile, components verbal and somatic, basically calling upon Brahma to give you this power. Duration instantaneous. A 100-foot radius cloud of divine light flies like a storm towards the target. The cloud occupies a designated area and deals a cumulative 1,050 radiant damage. 100 d20 radiant damage to all the inhabitants in the area. The damage pool deals damage to the stronger creatures first. The cloud remains until the damage pool is exhausted or all living creatures in its radius are dead. Alternatively, this Astra can be used to counter the effects of another Astra. Wow. You want a nuclear bomb? You want to give one out to your player characters? That's what this is. And essentially, it's like a divine gift. The players earn it, but they can only use it once. And then we get into some of their powers and things like that. I don't even know why you want to roll like 100 d20, like literally rolling it. Yeah, Theros. Yeah, very much like that. Let's see. Oh shit! Well, how does alignment work? How does alignment work in this game? I'll go back, but essentially, they're like, yes, you can use alignment, and they still use the alignment structures, but look at it like what's uh your alignment isn't your behavior. Your alignment is what you've been marked as when you were born. So you could play a chaotic evil character who's doing good things, but your nature, the how you were marked, maybe your ancestors were chaotic evil, so you are marked as chaotic evil. And that's a different way of looking at it, but I like it because it means that you're carrying this like burden around with you. Maybe you're trying to live it off, and maybe you act that way every once in a while. So it does give an example of like, you know, you don't have to be lawful stupid. You don't have to be um, a chaotic asshole, right? Like your character could be this way, and maybe being marked as chaotic evil makes you friends with some of the bad guys because they look at you that way. The short lifespan makes sense in the reincarnation setting. The less time you spend in the world, the less chance to damage your karma. Yeah, and get shit done real quick because I got to get out of here because I might make a mistake and backslide. Yeah, and end with reincarnation. You never know. I would like to experiment with aerial battles. I'm digging this game. Yeah, I'm excited to get into the Rakshasa. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to see that. I don't know. I don't know how to. I couldn't tell you how to spell it either. Kini. I'm gonna go listen. Okay, all right. Bollywood moment. I'm stealing this for any 5e gods now. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly. Yes, extremely Bollywood, right? If you've ever seen some of these like these high action Bollywood movies, and that the idea of like the nuclear explosion going off, and you see people. What's the name of the movie? Oh shoot. It's they use the soldiers get together with their shields. They link together like a hand grenade of like a dozen people. They get launched by a catapult over the castle wall, lands on the ground, explodes, but instead of exploding with damage, it explodes as a bunch of heroes with swords, curved swords, scimitars slashing at people. It's so bizarre. It is so wild. And this is that game. They want you to, it suggests that basically, like, make things over the top, make it melodramatic. You know, does the character have a loved one? Yes. And make it really dramatic. And I like that. So here's a monster, three-headed, winged elephant, mounts of the gods, divine blood. Here we have the Asuras. The Asuras are fiends, fiendish beings in this world. Dark nature. Here's an example of one, although you can kind of like, you can mix and match some of their attributes and give them like frightening appearance and what they look like, what their skin looks like. Give them an evil, what's it called? An evil, something that they like to do with people that's criminal. Their favorite torture, their favorite crime, and things like that. The Atas, large fiends. These are like, I want to say like more minor fiends, central missions to complicate the lives of some of the player characters. One thing that bothers me a little bit with stat blocks, and they do it here, and it's minor, but it just rubs me the wrong way, is they will give some of these monsters spells, but they don't spell out what the spell ability is. So you kind of have to look it up. So just be prepared for that, because even the current version of 5.5 or 6th edition or whatever, 2024 has done that. I'm like, Anyway, here we have creatures. To the very right, we have the Rakshasa and their version of the Rakshasa. And there is something here that's kind of cool. Okay, so each Rakshasa, they have a boon. Each Rakshasa has a powerful boon granted to it by a god or spirit, allowing it to die only if certain conditions are met. If one does not know these conditions, which are guarded with utmost secrecy, it will seem that the Rakshasa is immortal. Some examples of boons are listed below. For example, the Rakshasa can only be killed by fire. The Rakshasa cannot be killed on land. The Rakshasa is immune to magical damage. The Rakshasa cannot be killed by a human. The Rakshasa can only be killed by someone who is more evil than it. The Rakshasa cannot be killed while it is meditating. The Rakshasa can only be killed by an Astra, that was magical, powerful weapons of mass destruction. The Rakshasa cannot be killed by any physical weapon. And mind you, when you see something like cannot be killed by any physical weapon, that means it has to be like mystical or psychic or something, poison or something, maybe. And which means that, and it even suggests that these Rakshas, now this is the image, this isn't the backwards, what is it? The hands with the backwards palm. The palm is on the reverse of what we're thinking, and the thumb is facing the wrong way or something like that. But they do suggest to make these like big bads. Make them big bads. Make them like trying, like a lich. Yeah, you could fight them one-on-one, but you're probably going to fail unless you figure out a way to kill it, because they'll always come back. They are completely outside the reincarnation cycle, and lots of spells. I mean, shit, they've got 9th level time stop, feeble mind, finger of death, cloud kill, teleportation circle. Yeah, you're not fighting these guys. Although they only have like 200 hit points, but still, whatever. We'll get into some other things here. Utas, eerie shapeshifters. Charity, devil children, large dragon. Take a look at this image. You'll see that the feet of this unfortunate undead child that hasn't passed on are facing the wrong way. Nasty. Oh. Other beasts here. There's many of them. There's not artwork for all of them, but many of these monsters are like a cursed version of humanity. So some of them haven't been able to pass on. Some are permutations of a person's guilt, things like that. Unfinished business, and many of them are like evil. Like, hey, you know what? If you keep living this way, that's going to be you. There's another one eye, flaming skull. There's a wolf here. Davrapala is like a stone guardian. They are the pillars that hold up structures, and they can come alive and walk around and things like that. They're often seen in even numbers as well, because so if you see one, there's got to be one nearby. I kind of like that. Come on down. Here we go. Over to the very left, Gaja Sima. Oh, anyway, has a head of an elephant and the body of a lion. It is a wild creature that dwells in the eastern and southern jungles. The southern people, Thara, are famous for taming these creatures, using them as mounts. Here's a unique one. The Gangjin or Gangine, small fae, rare race of humanoids who have no need to eat or drink, instead drawing sustenance from pleasant scents. They are attracted to flower gardens, blooming orchards, and perfumes worn by nobility. They have an aversion to stench. Ganginese are averse to any form of bad smell and stay away from it. Thus, one way to prevent attracting these creatures while traveling is to carry a foul-smelling item, usually rotten garlic or sulfuric salt. And their palms possess nostrils similar to noses, which they can smell as much as they want. Very strange. There's some others. I know it's probably very difficult to get the artwork done for these monsters. Temple Guardian. That thing on the left, Temple Guardians. Trying to see if you can find anything in here. Gargantuan python, swallows. Yep. A blur of red. Olma, this bird remains in constant motion. Its form cannot be accurately made out as the edges start to blur. Those that have seen it report seeing a blur of red. Due to the irregularity of its form, hunters have failed to hit this bird with any spear or arrow. Yakas. And the epilogue. So, we've gone through. This is Devabhumi, and guys, thank you very much. Let me go through here, and then I'm going to go back to anything that you would like me to go for. Text for further reading, by the way. Example of various philosophy, history, things of that nature, and go into what you guys have to say. Yeah, so I don't know the movie with the shield guys, but I know the scene. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. RRR. Oh my God, oh, that movie. RRR, my beloved movie. Never get tired of it, and it is so over the top. I love every minute of that movie. And guess what? Unfortunately, it cast the colonizers in a horrible light. And I love that movie nonetheless. Yeah, so my local Friday Night Magic store is safe. Pleasant smell. Nope. No soap needed. Come on in. Yeah, RRR. Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah, this is the game. Now, mind you, I'll pop over here to the player's guide. Again, the player's guide is a truncated form of the campaign guide. So essentially, this is just a way for us to hand over this over to the players, use all the super backers and individuals that make this game, and preface. Yeah, it does mention that like compiling all these cultures and beliefs into one single study would be an impossible task. That is why there are hundreds of studies and degrees with just one of these many cultures. Just like a painting requires multiple strokes with different colors and hues, this book takes a little bit from each culture, region, and story to form something that captures the essence of South Asian subcontinent. I hope this book provides you with material that you can use in your campaigns. The aim of this material is not only provide content that you can use as is, but provide some inspiration for you to create new ideas. Hope you enjoy the land of Devabhumi. I love history, and then again, we get into details about the history, terminology, the ages, so you can use the different ages, the cyclical ages, to have players uncover things in the dark, unknown regions of the world. I like the fact that they made this multi-armed woman, like, you know, kind of like an old hag, something like that. Monsters tend not to age. They tend to be static. And history of the same rise of the Asura Queen. Like I said, there are settlements ruled by mystical beings, some of them not very nice. Notable characters from history. The other worlds that some of these dangerous godlike beings come from. And then we get into what I for me is the world builders part of this is all what do the people call themselves? What do they eat? What are their pastimes? How do they dress? Here's Indic culture is a collectivist culture with an emphasis on one's family, clan, and society. Extended families are common in this land, as it is usual to live with one's parents, grandparents, and uncles. Elders are almost deified in Indic culture, and there is a system of customs designed to respect and honor them. Examples of these common customs are listed below. Touching the feet of an elder when greeting them for the first time. Serving the eldest person at the table first and during mealtime. Avoiding eye contact as a sign of respect in front of an elder. Arranged marriages are the norm. things like that. And I can see this using these as, remember I was talking about spectacle creep, right? Where we can use much of this. Here's the map and the big general regions of this map. But like for example, let's say your character is marked as, I'm just making this up. Your character is marked as neutral evil or chaotic evil. Maybe it has to deal with your family, and you are trying to live down the mark that your family has because the rest of your family members are like thieves and liars and things like that. And you're like, damn it, would you please stop doing that? And then there are elders in your family. Maybe you're not just adventuring for yourself, but to recover an ancient document or a medallion or reunite members of your family, an elder that lost a loved one a long time ago because they were captured because of the great, knowledge, they were a seer or something like that, and you're like, I'm going to get my aunt back and make sure she comes back to my uncle or whatever. And so there's a lot of family involved in those things, not just being a badass for yourself, but ensuring that your family has a great place to stay and to survive. Maybe they are living under a terrible regime of an evil dictatorial mythological sentient bestial fiend or something, and you're like, I'm gonna murder kill that damn thing, let my family free or whatever. Talks about reincarnation and the undead and things like that. The new body enters another thing. Players may be involved in rituals and to ensure reincarnation as well. Sometimes if a soul feels like it has something left when it dies, then it lingers as a buta or a ghost. It wanders the land attempting to finish its unfinished business, all the while tempted and tormented by the feelings of hunger and pain. A soul that remains behind as a buta feels the same hunger and desires as if it was still in the previous body, but is unable to satisfy itself, causing it to lash out. Spina Puja, a soul that lingers as a buta, may be satisfied upon completion of a specialized ritual. This ritual requires a priest, 108 gold pieces, that's very specific, and 4 hours of uninterrupted focus by the priest. If this is completed, then the soul is able to move on to another body. And again, this could be, this may be a way, like if the players are besieged by these dangerous spirits, may need them to move on. This could be a relative or loved one that can't move on, and the players need to figure out a way to get them to move on, so on and so forth. It talks about necromancy. Attempting to resurrect or reanimate the dead is universally considered a foul, nefarious practice. This again goes into the, I want to play a good necromancer. Well, you may think you're lawful good or whatever. Everybody else thinks you're not, because you're raising somebody else's grandmom or their dead children or something pretty nasty. This is because the resurrected being's soul is prevented from reincarnating, and the body of the reanimated undead has no soul. This causes the soul to be stuck in limbo. Talks about astrology, and again, regions, and this is all the information about the culture, locations. Here we go, the holidays, what to do on those holidays, food and festivals, sports and reincarnation. Sports and recreation. Wow. Taboos, footwear, cattle, common insults, left hand, right hand, placement of feet, shaved head. Shaving someone's hair is a great humiliation to that person, symbolizes the shaving one's honor. This is usually reserved as a punishment for criminals. So, a shaved head individual, you may not want to be close to them, or you may want to find out what the hell did they do, especially if they're a good person. What did they do? Did they, take on the sins of somebody else? Did they violate some kind of stricture or something? Languages, and then we get in the character creation, and then I'm gonna leave it there. We'll keep this image here. So, guys, thank you very much for letting me show this off. I should find a clip of our if we combine this with a western, does it become reinterration? One of the things. Oh hell, I'm gonna go find something here. Let's see. Let's go to YouTube here while we talk a little bit. Um, the melodrama. While there are no rules for the melodrama, I will say that, like, when I say melodrama, what I mean is players who are have deep feelings for things, meaning like you're not just a friend, you are the best friend ever to your allies. You don't just have a loved one, you have a devoted person that you've made your love that will last through the millennium. You are not just going to go into battle, you're going to go into battle to sacrifice everything. And embracing that, I think, is the let's see. Montage. Let's see if we can find some really cool that's honest trailers. Oh man. Let's see if we can find something here. All right. Oops. All right. Amazing shots of RRR. Let's see if YouTube will ding me on this one. Yeah. If there's another great Bollywood scene with a truck running a blockade that flips in a group of tires. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We'll see that. We'll we'll see if I can get this up here. Let's see if we because I haven't prescribed this, and I'm going to turn the sound down a lot, quite a bit, because if I don't, how long is this? Yeah, from RRR. This is such a great. I may have to disrupt this one quite a bit. Yeah, this is an amazing thing. All right, I gotta take some of the sound out because I know that could get dinged. Are they going to show the? Are they going to show the truck flippage? I don't know. I don't know. Truck flippage. Truck flippage. Let's see if I can find it. It's that's before that happened before. Maybe they might do this out of. No, they're. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it. Nope. Yeah, they just put them in different orders. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. They didn't get the actual flipping, but there. Yeah. Oh man, I'm disrupting a lot of this because it has to be disrupted. But yeah, boom, over the top. Yeah. Gotta have stuff that's over the top. Gotta be like, yeah. I'm not just casting a magic missile. I'm setting off fireworks behind me while it just flies around me. I'm not just going after. There it is. I missed it. The amazing thing about this movie is that uh, the amazing. Let me get out of this. Oh, by the way, this character does do that. Astra. What would you call it? Astra. What's the term for it? Let's see if we can get. Let's see if we can get some other scenes. Beauty of this movie. Oh my goodness. Oh, they kind of took some of the similar scenes. Oh, is this the one where he throws the jaguar? Oh, he just threw the jaguar at the guy. Used the jaguar as a weapon. Yeah. Hey, let's climb up to the top. No. How about I stand on your shoulders and I swing you up to the top? No, I'm going to use a fire. I'm going to use water. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for showing us. Oh man, yeah. Astra channeling, yeah, hell's yeah, hell yeah. I'm sure they, the creator that did this. Not that Astras aren't real, but they're like, well, in mythology they did these things, and of course in these movies, these over the top Bollywood movies with CGI and action, they're like, wait a minute. How do you explain this? It's like, oh, here's a weapon gifted by the gods to be used once. Nuclear option, boom. Which, if you think about it, is it like a one shot, one kill kind of thing you can give your players? Sure. But the other sense, it's like you get to use it once. When will you use it? Well, when I fight the big bad. Are you sure? Because when you go up against the evil Rakshasa warlord or something with 17 arms, yeah. Though anyway, thank you very much for allowing me to show this off to you guys, and also let's share this image right here. Also to introduce some other cultural things, and as a matter of fact, to be honest with you, when I mention these other cultures and other aspects of the game and game world and whatnot, you could very easily insert these things into your fantasy game world. Just make it another continent, another island. If you walk further over the edge of your map, maybe there are other people and this is where they live. Just like our real world, right? Sail far enough, fly far enough, walk long enough, maybe these are places you can see. Or go through enough time periods, and maybe this was like the third age of your 7-age world, and this is what happened in the ancient past. People, how many adventurers have gone into a deep dungeon with a language they don't understand? Well, for me, many of the pronunciations I don't understand either, and so and I live here on the earth. I'm not an adventurer, but yeah. So yeah, there's lots of these things that are in the game, and very easy to incorporate this. Although with your players, they might be thrown off, but visiting a place that incorporates some or even the majority of these, especially with like the taboos about who gets to eat first, which hand do you eat with, a shaved head and all this kind of stuff, and the players are like, well, my character's always had a shaved head, but then you get treated differently in this world. Heck, maybe even the people in this world can see you for who you are, looking at your alignment, right, and treat you thusly. Shape-shifting Naga. Anybody else here? The plant-based people. And the bear people, yeah. What's it called? And before I get out, did it disappear on me? What the hell? Well, thanks for that. All right, I'm going to share one more thing here. It's called. Let's see. Let's see if I can find some Indian club exercises here. Let's see if I can find somebody who's got these big ass clubs. No. Yes. And then I want to share this out. Wild. Here we go. And there's somebody, again, here's somebody doing that. And there's those clubs get big and beef with those clubs that are using two of them. They make ones that are like huge, that are where you can only lift them, you have to use them two-handed and whatnot. So yeah, and then there's others out there. Let's see if we can find mobility. Let's find some big ones. And here we go. Here's a guy using a big heavy one and swinging it around, and it does this full mobility thing. It gets your back, your arms, your forearms, your grip strength, and whatnot. So yeah, yeah. And you can see him. He's like breathing. He's just like, oh, and it's really because you're holding it at the end. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of different. So anyway, guys. Anyway, I don't want to play this too much, but I don't know why come on, bear, come on back. There we go. Don't know why that went away. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show. Let me see your last comments here. There are a few videos that saw your YouTube as well if you're interested. Yep. Yeah. That whip. Calorie payat. Calorie payat, I think, is the name of yep. Let's see if we can get some examples here. Let's go back to YouTube. If we get some Calorie payat is the martial art. Let's see. Let me copy this and paste this here. That's the warrior art, I believe. And let's find ourselves. Sorry, let's find ourselves. Let's go here. Here we go. Let's see what they got here. Oh, there's that whip. Oh, it was too quick. There it is. I don't. How the hell do you avoid like not hurting yourself? I don't know, but yeah, you got to be a master. I don't know about a beginner fight, but oof. Also, I love it that the ladies are getting involved in this. A-holes that are like, women can't fight, women can't be warriors. It wasn't back in that day. Yeah, okay. All right, okay. Yeah, sure. Oh man. One more. What is it? 9 years ago? The original martial art. Oh, it even explained it. Oh, Calorie payat. In short, is the defensive art of Kerala, own martial arts tradition. You know, and is, you know, this. Would you say this is monk? Would you say this is like paladin, fighter? I mean, you know, for other cultures, when we look at this kind of thing, it's like, you know, how would you describe this in a Eurocentric style? And maybe it doesn't align correctly. And so that's where sometimes when you get other cultures and you go, oh, you got monks and paladins, and it's like, yeah, but it doesn't fit seamlessly, you know what I mean, into this worldview. Sorry, there we go. So anyway, just wanted to show off some of this. Yeah, guys, thank you very much for being part of this show. I'll toss most martial arts in with monks since it's a devotion to an art, not a church. I agree with that. Maybe more of the Yeah, you got me on that one. Yeah, don't bring up the stupid. Sorry. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like why bring down the excellence with like base base stuff, right? Yeah, right. Yeah. And a blend of which, right? You know, how do you define those things? And so when you have other cultures, sometimes they don't fit into a they don't fit easily into a bracket. But I love that. I love that because I would love somebody else to be like, "Hey, I'm from this other country." Here we're talking about India and this other country and going, "No, this is how we look at a thing." And like the movie RRR, very cinematic, very action oriented, but it's like probably one of the greatest bromances ever, and you don't get to see that. And I liked it a lot. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for letting me show off Devabhumi, a fifth edition, and there is a Pathfinder 2 version of a player's guide and a campaign book to introduce you to mythic, historical, cultural, mythic, fantasy India. What the hell? What is going on with my it's not my software. It is it's not software. It is my streaming service. That is what's doing it. What the? And it's not coming back. All right. It means it means it's time to go. Guys, have a great one. Thank you very much. We'll talk tomorrow. I'm not sure. We went to India. We'll go to Israel. We'll go to Cairn, all that kind of stuff. By the way, if you've been here this long, please. Anyway, guys, have a great one. I'll see you later. Peace, tranquility. Bye.